was a choice of 4 o'clock or 6:30. So I picked 4 o'clock. How's that? Today's reading is once again from a new writer. Her name actually is Reverend Karen Wiley, and I've lost my thing here. And this is from September 2021. The introduction she gave actually in 2021 to the Daily Guides was, "It is your destiny." And the quote was from Meister Eckhart. So I'm going to read it as it is. I know some of you are allergic to God, but that's what Meister Eckhart used all those centuries ago. The great Middle Ages mystic, or one of them. To see as God sees, to know as God knows, and to feel as God feels. And this was her personal intro. She said, as we grow spiritually, we constantly move into the unknown, perfectly fitting this month's theme of stepping into the unknown. That was the theme for the magazine for September 2021. She says, in the beginning of my own personal journey, sometimes I felt like I was stepping off a cliff without knowing anything about the landing I was about to make. We must have courage to let go of the control we think keeps us safe in our perceived unsafe world. And she goes on to say it takes courage to get rid of lifelong false beliefs and to know with absolute certainty that we live in a loving, supportive universe and that we're powerful beyond measure. We're here to discover the true essence of our being, to live and love fearlessly, and to relate our joy, peace, and inspiration throughout the world. And she graduated from UCLA with a degree in psychology. She has a master's in spiritual psychology. She is a licensed spiritual counselor since '94. She graduated from the Ministerial School in 2008, and she served as numerous functions at Center for Spiritual Living and the Symphony of Life Spiritual Center in OJ, California, from 2009 to 13. And she was ordained in 2012. Which is about right. We become a minister first, become licensed ministers, and then we have to serve at least 3 years before we can apply to be ordained. So it's really an arduous process. And so 4 years is about the norm because of the 3-year minimum serving before you can actually apply. Okay? And she's written and facilitates workshops on meditations. She has private consultations and so on. She conducts all kinds of ceremonies. And she has a book, Into Me See, a book for daily inspiration. Into Me See, a book for daily inspiration. Go look it up on Amazon, KarenSWiley.com. So that's her. And this is what she said way back in 2021. First quote is from Rumi, a great Sufi poet, Persian. Pilgrimage to the place of the wise is to find escape from the flame of separation. And Ernest Holmes says in the Science of Mind textbook on page 128, if we think of ourselves as being separated from the universe, we should be limited by this thought, for it is a belief in separation from the divine, which binds and limits. He also said that there is no separation. There can't be, because the divine is all there is. So the only thing that can exist is a sense of separation. And this is Reverend Karen saying, the planet used to seem so big, so spread out. Not anymore. As much as some of us like to isolate, that no longer works on Mother Earth. What happens somewhere on the planet winds up affecting another part somewhere else. This is a fact we're going to have to get used to. But I think just as we've done our spiritual work on the microscopic level, we can begin to do our spiritual work on the macroscopic realm, in other words, worldwide realm. Jesus provided a way forward. We cannot live in separation and isolation anymore. We're now being called as never before to remember our oneness with the divine and with all life everywhere. We're to find that place within us, individually and collectively, of forgiveness, peace, and love. Forgiveness, peace, and love. As we raise the consciousness individually and collectively on this planet, we can overcome any obstacle and begin to create a world that works for everyone, which is Center for Spiritual Living slogan, in case you didn't know. I'm choosing to lift my sights that high for planetary peace. If we could but realize the depth of the divine's love for us, we would be able to release and let go of the fear that has been running amok in our world of late. She says the enemy uses fear to gain power, decrease our hope, and limit our victories. And I assume she's talking about human individuals here, because by definition of the way we believe, can't be anything else. A new day is coming. I see it and I declare it. So, Reverend Karen Wiley, published April 2021. It's a pretty clear message, really. First of all, there is no separation between us and anything else. Everything, everywhere. We've said this numerous times, right? Numerous times. Everything is interconnected. We're not just connected with the source that brought everything into being. We're connected with everything everywhere around us. Reverend Lisa this morning, and by the way, if you didn't see our service, it's been recorded. And if you didn't see Reverend Lisa this morning at 9, it's been recorded. And she was talking about trees and how if a tree is cut down or blown down in a natural disaster, the trees around it will begin to feed its roots so that it can continue to live through their feeding it. So just as the trees are interconnected there, we're interconnected with everything. There's loads of stories about people who are, shall we say, living closer to nature. In the past, we said primitive. That's not a word that we choose to use. There isn't anything such as primitive. The people who live closer to the earth on this planet, and as civilized beings, we've lost a lot, and people who we regard as less civilized, but they aren't, are closer to the earth. And they still are able to use natural means of communication. I'm not going to go into it now, it's too long, but I will tell you the story, hopefully later this week, about a wonderful way of communicating down at a very basic level, just showing that everything is interconnected. So our lesson, if there is a lesson today, is that we're interconnected. And I suggest that you and I take that into our quiet time the next time we go into our quiet time, that we are interconnected. You could use her affirmation, I release any sense of fear and separation within myself now. I release any sense of fear and separation within myself now. And if you want to turn that into a positive affirmation, you can do so. I claim my sense of peace and connection with everything now, or anyone you choose. As I said, I've got to dash because I am actually going to dash off somewhere now. Reverend Lisa will be back tomorrow morning at 9. I know I'm short. I'm a minister, but I'm pretty short because I'm also an engineer, and the two things kind of come together, and my presentations tend to be shorter. But I hope that they're to the point, because I don't believe in belaboring it if it's not necessary. So hope that works for you. Works for me, but let me know if it works for you. And if you'd like me to do something different, hey, I'm open to change. If I wasn't open to change, I wouldn't be fit to do the job I'm doing right now. So there. Take care, especially in this heat. It's going to be like 38 Celsius, 100 Fahrenheit today around here. The field like temperature, you can add a whole bunch of degrees on top of that. So if you live in this part of the world or anywhere with a heat wave going on, please take care, stay hydrated, look after yourselves. And then once you've done that, you can look after other people. And it's as simple as that. So until tomorrow, namaste.